Welcome back everyone. Time to do another comparison this time around between the iPhone 12 mini and the Samsung Galaxy S20 and kind of determine, which specific phone you should go and pick up. Now there's pros and cons for both for sure, but I'll definitely tell you with the iPhone 12 mini, it is the newer phone, so we'll give it the benefit of the doubt. But with the Samsung Galaxy S20, this phone has actually been going down in value quite a bit. And you can pick them up on Amazon for cheaper than what the iPhone 12 mini is going for. So this phone costs $729, and a lot of places this phone costs less than $700. So we'll go ahead and find the cheapest ones of both these, link them down in the description below. You can get them from there and help support the channel at the same time. Now, side by side, of course, you can definitely see that the iPhone 12 mini is a much smaller phone in pretty much every single dimension. If we go ahead and stack the 12 mini on top of the iPhone or the Galaxy S20, you can see almost the same thing kind of for sure in terms of the feeling in the hand when it comes down to the width, but the length is far bigger on the Galaxy S20. Now on the front of the S20, we're getting a 6.1 inch AMOLED display, and this is a really good panel. I mean, you're getting 1440p on this phone. I think it's 6.2 inches actually, I kind of forgot, but it's a very good panel, hole punch display, just pretty much I think this is the best panel when it comes down to it this year. I mean, curved sides, it just feels so good in the hand, and I think this is definitely the best panel this year. But on top of that, you're getting that fingerprint sensor in the display, but you're also getting a 120 hertz refresh rate. Forget the 90. This is a 120 hertz refresh rate that you're getting in this phone. And to some people that may not be a big deal, but let me tell you, that is an exceptional deal. That is one of the biggest things in the world in my opinion. And the fact that we already have it on the S series is so much more important than people are saying, to be honest. So this is definitely one of my favorite phone panels this year. Now on the iPhone 12 mini, we're getting a 5.4 inch panel, and it's smaller than the Galaxy S20s, which is not a crazy big deal, but it's also lower resolution, but it's a smaller phone, so it's expected, and I think it's cool. Having a smaller phone like this is really nice. You have the newer flat side design, which is really cool as well. So I think that's one way to look at it. I think that's a really cool thing about it. But when you look at the Galaxy S20 and you look at the iPhone 12 mini, this one has the better panel. This one has a better panel than all the iPhones that have ever been made, to be completely honest. So that's a pretty big thing to say, but it's the complete truth if I'm being honest. In terms of the thinness and thickness between the two, you can see that I think the Galaxy S20 may be a little bit thinner. I'm not really too sure. Because of the flat sides on the iPhone 12 mini, it gives the impression that it is thicker because you're always feeling the thickest spot. The Galaxy S20 on the other hand, because it curves, you're kind of feeling the, I guess the curve more than you're feeling the thickest part. That's another big thing to keep in mind. And on the back, as usual, you have a dual camera setup on the iPhone 12 mini and a triple camera setup on the Galaxy S20. You're getting glass backs on both, and they actually feel about the same. They're the same type of glass. There's not one that's frosted or anything, so that's a pretty big thing to keep in mind. Now you're getting IP certification on both. You're getting wireless charging on both. The Galaxy S20 does have reverse wireless charging, which is huge. You're also getting a microSD card slot on the Galaxy S20 as well. So that's another pretty big thing to keep in mind. But the iPhone 12 mini still feels really premium as well, and it is technically cheaper in the new market. The S20 just so happens that in the used market, this thing is cheaper. Also in, the Amazon market is cheaper too. So that pretty much covers it up in terms of the outside. Now hitting on the software side of things, the Galaxy S20 has One UI 2. Sooner than later, it's getting One UI 3. The iPhone 12 mini is coming out with iOS, obviously, and when it comes down to the longevity, the iPhone 12 mini is going to outlast the Galaxy S20 for sure. This thing is going to be getting, I guess, another 3 versions of Android. The iPhone 12 mini is going to be lasting probably until like 2025 or 2026, so that's a pretty big thing to keep in mind. So when it comes down to the software, the iPhone 12 mini is definitely going to win for sure. So that pretty much covers it up there. Let's go and hit on the performance and do a speed comparison between the two. The iPhone 12 mini has that Apple A14 Bionic chip inside of it with 8 gigabytes of RAM, where the Galaxy S20 has that Qualcomm Snapdragon A65 chipset with 8 gigabytes of RAM as well. And the 12 mini has 4 gigabytes of RAM, not 8 gigs. I'm sorry, I misspoke. Let's go and see which one is the faster one. Okay, now we can go ahead and kind of hop out of all the apps, which we already did. Let's do phone calls, 3, 2, 1. And about the same on both. App stores, 3, 2, 1. And the S20 a little bit slower, and the S20 was a little bit faster there. Scrolling through, you can see about the same, honestly. There's not really that crazy of a difference, actually maybe there it was, but not a big one. As always, I have a bunch of these third-party apps we can go and get into. Let's do Facebook, 3, 2, 1. Definitely faster on the 12 mini, a little bit slower on the S20. Let's do Fruit Ninja, 3, 2, 1. And you can see definitely the 12 mini was the faster one, but the Galaxy S20 was a little bit slower too. And one thing that I always saw was that when it comes down to the animations and app opening, the Galaxy S20's animations are just not as good as iOS's. So that's a pretty big thing to keep in mind. Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. and I think the Galaxy S20 was a faster one. The 12 mini was a little bit slower in terms of the graphics and everything. I honestly don't think there's going to be that big of a difference for sure, but I think the S20 was just slightly faster. And it's just kind of impressive to me for the 12 mini to be this close to the S20, considering this one was like the fastest one. Let's do snake first blocks, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Let's go and get into the gameplay. And I don't really think there's that big of a difference. They seem kind of the same, to be completely honest. So let's hop out of here. So Real Racing 3, 3, 2, 1. And the S20 ended up getting into it faster than the iPhone 12 mini. And the 12 mini eventually got into it. So definitely when it comes down to the two, the S20 was definitely the faster one for sure. Let's go and do stack. 3, 2, 1. And definitely the Galaxy S20 was faster. The 12 mini pretty, noticeably behind. BOFA, 3, 2, 1. And it's pretty close actually. I don't think one was way faster than the other one. Netflix, 3, 2, 1. And I think the 12 mini was a little bit slower there for sure. Going into Quizlet, 3, 2, 1. Again, the 12 Galaxy S20 is faster there. Twitter, 3, 2, 1. And I think they both were pretty close. So definitely when it comes down to both of them, I don't know if one is necessarily the best one or the fastest one. I think the Galaxy S20 is probably the faster one more times than not, but it was still like very close in a lot of cases. It wasn't like the 12 mini was crazy behind, but there were instances where the Galaxy S20 was pretty much faster, the Real Racing 3, the Temple Run 2, those type of things were noticeable. So definitely when it comes down to it, I think the iPhone 12 mini is a little bit slower, and the Galaxy S20 is the fast one when it comes down to it. So let's go ahead on the cameras. Now, like I stated before, dual camera setup on the 12 mini, 12 megapixel wide, 12 megapixel ultra wide. Was on the Samsung Galaxy S20, we're getting a triple camera setup, a wide angle lens, telephoto lens, then an ultra wide sensor. Now, definitely when it comes down to the camera quality, we have pretty much been seeing throughout this whole entire year that the Galaxy S20's camera, I think, is probably one of the best ones this year. Obviously, the S20 Ultra is the better one, but this one, the quality of it is amazing. You have the ultra-wide sensor, you have the telephoto lens, which is a beautiful. The video quality, you can do 8K videos on this thing, which is insane. And you can do 4K at 60 on the front camera as well. And those are some really, really, really good numbers for sure. There's not a lot of phones out there that can do 8K. None of the iPhones can. Not a lot of phones in general. This is like one of the first ones, I think. So definitely when it comes down to it, the Galaxy S20 has more features than the 12 mini, has more capability than the iPhone 12 mini's camera quality. That's a really big thing to keep in mind. Now, the iPhone 12 mini also has a really good camera setup for the most part too. It has that ultra-wide sensor, which is nice. You can do 4K at 60 on the back, you can do 4K at 60 on the front. And I've already done a camera comparison between these two, I just remembered, and I pretty much found that for sure, I think the Galaxy S20 is the better one. You just have more capability from a phone like the Galaxy S20, especially when it comes down to the 8K capability. So it's not the end of the world, but that is definitely one thing that I saw. But it's really good that you still have that ultra-wide sensor on the iPhone 12 mini, but you also have, 4K at 60 on the front, which is something that I always look forward to. So definitely when it comes down to it, the Galaxy S20 is better. The iPhone 12 mini may be a little bit behind, but, for sure the S20 is the far better camera. Now, ending it off with the battery life, one thing that I saw which was very surprising was the Galaxy S20 actually has a better battery life too. Some people may see, oh, well, this phone is way more powerful and has, way better specs and is way bigger display and all that stuff. You would assume the battery life is worse, but it's not necessarily the case. The 12 mini definitely has a better battery life when it comes down to it. I've already tested it. I don't know when that video is coming out, but the 12 mini was noticeably behind than the Galaxy S20. So to kind of sum up this video and say answer the question, should you pick up the 12 mini? Should you pick up the Galaxy S20? But what I can tell you is that, like I say before, there's a lot of pros and cons for both these devices. With the Galaxy S20, you're getting pretty much a flagship phone. This is the best phone you can pick up this year. One of the best phones. It has a beautiful display. It's super good when it comes down to performance. It was pretty much faster than the 12 mini. Has beautiful cameras, micro SD card slot support, reverse wireless charging, and all that stuff. USB Type-C. And it just has so much capability for sure. I feel like the limitations of this device are probably sometimes the inconsistency when it comes down to app opening. So if I open up an app, it's a little bit slower. Sometimes the animations can be weird. The screen is super sensitive. Sometimes if you even hold it like this, it can randomly sometimes if you hold it like this, it can go and randomly touch things. I just don't like that. Random notifications, I don't like One UI that much, which is another big deal for me. Everything else about this phone, this is one of the best Android phones you can buy. It's literally the best. 120Hz refresh rate as well, which is amazing. With the iPhone 12 mini, this is a really good iPhone for the price. You're getting a great camera. You're getting a really good display, a newer, smaller design, which is nice, flat size also, which is really cool. iOS support, it was only like a little bit slower than the Galaxy S20. RAM management seemed to be about the same, so that's another big thing. I mean, you're not going to be going from a Galaxy S20 to the 12 mini, and I also don't think you're going to be going from a 12 mini to the S20. I think both these phones kind of live on their own. The S20 is more of like a flagship, the 12 mini is more of like a mid-tier phone, but still there's a lot of similarities, you know? I think performance was really surprising because the 12 mini did better than what I thought it was going to, but the S20 was definitely faster. But on top of that, you're getting a longer software supported phone on the 12 mini than on the Galaxy S20. So that's another pretty big thing to keep in mind as well. So take that as you will, but I would definitely tell you, you cannot go wrong with either one of these. If I had to do it, I would probably get a Galaxy S20 to be honest, but the iPhone 12 mini is more than a capable phone too. So that really pretty much covers it up. If you want to pick these up, like I stated, links will be down in the description, but that pretty much covers it. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section as well. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my other channels. More importantly, everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.